talking about what happens when someone who's a wrestler is getting started in Jiu-Jitsu. A collar tie, snap his head forward, take the knees down, and then lock up here. We use our underhook here to lever our partner's elbow high, circle, 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 turn them down, and then from here, look, this arm is still in the same place. So here's my good friend Rene Souza. Thank you so much for being here. We were talking a little bit about wrestling. Now, you have a wrestling background, right? You were wrestling before you did Jiu-Jitsu. We were talking about what happens when someone who's a wrestler is getting started in Jiu-Jitsu. Like, there are a lot of different things to learn. Obviously, there are a lot of things that are different between wrestling and Jiu-Jitsu. You know, the big one is your back being on the floor, right? And for, you know, if you're a seasoned Jiu-Jitsu practitioner and watching this, you understand this already, but it's hard to understand, like, really kind of the depth of this. Jiu-Jitsu really is, the thing that distinguishes it primarily is that you're able to play for a long period of time with your back on the floor. Wrestling, judo, these things don't happen. Even when they happen, when they do happen, they happen kind of fits and starts. And very rarely do you see prolonged play like that because of the rules. So if you're someone who's wrestling, a lot of times your experience is in different types of positions, but these can still translate very, very well to immediate results in Jiu-Jitsu. The one that we were just talking about was
high wrist.
High wrist and front headlock.
Yeah.
So playing from the front headlock. So if you're someone who has a wrestling background, it's likely that you understand what it means to control someone with a front headlock position, okay? And there are a lot of different ways of doing that. When it comes to your hand position, you can go palm to palm, you can go wrist to wrist, you can go elbow to elbow. But taking somebody from a standing position and snapping them down here, or from a seated position, okay, where we're working here, he's passing my guard, I find a collar tie, snap his head forward, take the knees down, and then lock up here. This is an ideal way to start to understand offense from a jiu-jitsu perspective for someone who's got a lot of wrestling. Then from here, the high wrist is a great option, okay? We were talking about that as well. The idea is that once you're here, because your partner, right, they have an essential dilemma here. We've touched on this in the past, but the idea is that he either wants to prevent me from going around behind him, okay, or he needs to protect his neck. When you're on top, you can play these two things between each other. If you have wrestling experience, you're probably very experienced or have a good familiarity with the idea of going around behind somebody. Okay, but what we want to add to that is the idea of threatening a go behind so our partner gives us a reaction and then using that as a cue to punch our hand through into a strong guillotine position. Okay, in this case, we're doing a high wrist where our elbow points towards the floor and our hand rises high. Our second arm simply anchors, okay, and if it's already there, then great. You can lock your hands, you don't need to, you can just go right in this position. And then from here, it's all about sitting back and creating an extension here. We bring our legs up into place, okay? So if you're a wrestler and you're just getting started in Jiu-Jitsu, it's great to learn all of the different stuff, okay? It's great to learn arm locks and leg locks and guard passing and all these things. If you need results right away, which sometimes you do, it's great to start with the front headlock, creating a dilemma between going behind the person, which in wrestling, this is natural. Something that, yeah, exactly, something that's been trained, and the guillotine, right, or styles of strangling from the front, which is deliberately not trained because it's against the rules in wrestling.
But for a wrestler, right, like what you just said, like sitting your butt, they don't know what that means, right? So is there a way of like almost threatening, like putting the person to their back like a cow catcher or something like that? What would you, because you're going to tell them to sit to their butt and they're going to be like,
right, I don't want to do that.
What is this, right?
That's a great question. So once we're in these positions here and we have our arm around our partner's neck, there are opportunities to reverse our partner, okay? An example, we were talking about the cow catcher. So the idea here is that instead of going over our partner's arm, we're going underneath. Okay, and we can use this now to lever our partner over. The right arm still stays in the same position. We take a big step up and then we use our underhook here to lever our partner's elbow high, circle, 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 turn them down, and then from here, look, this arm is still in the same place. You can put your head on the mat, take a big step up over the top, solidify your position, lock your hands, and then from here, you're straight into your guillotine from the mount. So whether you succeed in the guillotine or not, you have a great way of going from the top to the bottom in a style that is much more familiar to you than like sitting down in your butt, right? Yeah. Okay, great, awesome. Good, so hopefully this was helpful for you. If you know someone who's wrestling and starting Jiu-Jitsu, send this to them. If you have questions, let us know.
Tag them below, subscribe.
Exactly, thank you very much. Check out Rene's stuff, we'll link to it down below, and we'll see you soon.